Think you know everything about Drake? From surprise culinary stunts that broke fast food records to secret apprenticeship years, ghostwriting hits for underground artists. Champagne Papi's journey is packed with twists you've never heard, but that's just the beginning. There are hidden chapters of vulnerability, generosity, and business brilliance waiting to be uncovered. Drake didn't rise overnight on platinum singles alone. He sharpened his pen behind the scenes, balanced a Hollywood acting career with midnight studio grind, and built an empire spanning fashion, spirits, and sports. Let's get deeper in details. First, let's rewind to 2001, when a fresh-faced Aubrey Graham walked onto the set of Degrassi, The Next Generation, at just 15 years old. Cast as Jimmy Brooks, a talented high school basketball star, he navigated storylines of teenage drama, friendship, and ultimately, tragedy. When Jimmy survives a school shooting, an arc that shocked fans, viewers saw Drake bring raw emotion to the screen. What they didn't see was him scribbling rhymes between takes, headphones in ears, headphones out again, shaping his future one bar at a time. On weekend mornings, while classmates slept in, Drake would slip quietly into his script trailer, pull out a small notebook, and work through melodies and wordplay. After a long day filming, instead of heading out with co-stars, he'd retreat to hotel rooms, scribbling lines on hotel stationery, layering vocals into a portable recorder. That hustle, balancing homework, acting scenes, and underground recording sessions, laid the groundwork for his relentless work ethic. In 2006, still half a world away from superstardom, he dropped his first mixtape, Room for Improvement. The title itself was a wink at his dual life, actor by trade, rapper by passion. Local DJs began spinning tracks like Replacement Girl, and fans curious about the Degrassi star discovered a new side of Aubrey. Word spread online through early music blogs and social networks, long before TikTok and Instagram Reels, and soon you could find his songs on iTunes and free download sites. By the time Drake bid farewell to Degrassi in 2009, he wasn't just that kid from TV. He was a rising rapper with a growing digital footprint. His fan base, though still small, was fiercely loyal. They left comments under every new upload, shared tracks with friends, and debated which beat he'd drop next. That buzz set the stage for his next move. Later, in 2009, he released the mixtape So Far Gone, a 7-track project that blended introspective lyrics with smooth R&B hooks. Collaborations with heavy hitters like Lil Wayne gave him street cred, while songs like Best I Ever Had climbed the Billboard Hot 100. Critics praised his ability to switch effortlessly between singing and rapping, calling him a genre-bending trailblazer. The surprise Grammy nomination that followed wasn't just a nod to a breakout artist. It was validation of years spent perfecting his craft behind the scenes. What began as a teenager juggling scripts and studio time evolved into a blueprint for success. Drake's journey from Degrassi hallways to sold-out arenas shows that early dedication and a willingness to grind, even when the spotlight seemed elsewhere, can turn a curious on-screen moment into a career-defining legacy. First, let's travel back to Drake's earliest studio sessions, long before he ever stood on a Grammy stage. Fresh off the Degrassi set, Aubrey Graham moved back to Toronto with a stack of notebooks full of rhymes and a determination to make music his main gig. But without a name in hip-hop circles, he needed to pay rent and keep the lights on. That's when he discovered ghostwriting. In small downtown studios and makeshift basements, Drake met up-and-coming R&B vocalists and local rappers looking for fresh lyrics. On any given night, he might be in a booth laying down a smooth chorus about heartbreak, then switch gears and write a hard-hitting verse for a battle-ready MC. One moment, he was dreaming up catchy hooks that sounded like they belonged on Top 40 radio. The next, he was penning gritty street rhymes that rattled off the tongue with punch and flow. Those uncredited verses vanished under another artist's name. But for Drake, every line taught him something new about cadence, melody, and how to tailor words to someone else's style. Word of his talent spread quietly. Producers began calling, asking for that fresh Drake touch to elevate their projects. He'd roll into sessions armed with beat CDs, flip through tracks until he found one that sparked an idea, then built a chorus and verse around it in under an hour. The paychecks, small by superstar standards but more than enough for a young artist, kept him funded while he plotted his own breakthrough. More importantly, he built relationships with engineers, label reps, and fellow songwriters, learning the ins and outs of music contracts, royalty splits, and the negotiation tactics that would be crucial later. Even after Thank Me Later made him a household name in 2010, whispers of his behind-the-scenes work refused to die. Industry insiders speculated that Drake had a hand in hooks on tracks by other artists on Young Money, and that some of the biggest mixtape joints in early 2000s Toronto wouldn't exist without his pen, though he never publicly took credit, choosing instead to keep the focus on his own albums. The experience paid off in spades. By writing for others, Drake became a master of structure. He knew exactly how to build a song that grabbed listeners from the first bar and rode them all the way through a soulful bridge. He learned how to adapt to different voices, blending rap and melody until the line between singing and rapping blurred, a signature element of his later hits. And perhaps most crucially, he understood the business of music publishing and songwriting credits, giving him leverage when negotiating his own deals. In essence, Drake's ghostwriting era was his secret apprenticeship, a period of relentless practice, diverse challenges, and real industry lessons that no classroom could teach. When he finally stepped into the spotlight under his own name, he didn't just arrive as another rapper. He came armed with a refined craft, a deep understanding of the music world, and the confidence of someone who had already paid his dues. First, let's set the scene. It's June 2018, and anticipation is through the roof for Drake's next move. Fans had already devoured every snippet, meme, and rumor circling social media, but nobody expected the bombshell that would drop in the final seconds of his album Scorpion. On the closing track, March 14th, Drake paused the beat and delivered a confession that turned the hip-hop world upside down. He was a father. For months, barbs had been exchanged over Pusha T's notorious diss, The Story of Adidon, in which Pusha accused Drake of hiding a secret child. Listeners dissected every lyric, scouring interviews and paparazzi shots for clues. When Scorpion finally hit streaming services, Drake didn't dance around the issue. He leaned in. Over a sparse piano loop, he rapped, "I wasn't hiding my kid from the world. I was hiding the world from my kid." In that line, he revealed not only the existence of his son, but also his reasoning, a deliberate choice to shield his child from the glare of fame. Then came the heartfelt details. He spoke of Sophie Brousseau, the Parisian artist and former adult film actress turned painter, and the private journey they shared. He named his son Adonis Graham, referencing the mythological figure famed for beauty and strength, and rapped about co-parenting across continents. He admitted the challenges. "I wasn't sure I was ready for this responsibility," he confessed, voice thick with emotion. Yet, he also celebrated the joys. "He's the greatest blessing I could ever have." That juxtaposition of vulnerability and pride struck a chord far deeper than any boast about sales or streams ever could. The fallout was immediate. Social media exploded with support. Fans applauded Drake for owning his truth, and many artists publicly praised his honesty. Critics noted how the reveal flipped the power dynamic. Drake took control of the narrative rather than responding defensively to a rival's attack. Music publications touted March 14th as one of the year's most courageous moments in hip-hop. And though some questioned the timing, dropping such personal news on a commercial album, it underscored Drake's knack for blending art and life. Beyond headlines and memes, the reveal shifted Drake's public persona. No longer just the introspective romantic or chart-topping hitmaker, he was now a confidant sharing real-life struggles, fatherhood among them. It set a precedent. If a superstar could discuss co-parenting and responsibility in a rap verse, maybe the genre's emotional range could expand. In the years since, March 14th remains more than a song. It's a case study in narrative control, emotional honesty, and the lasting impact of sharing life's biggest surprises through music. Next, let's dive into Drake's award haul, an achievement so colossal it forced the music industry to rewrite its record books. In 2017, he swept the Billboard Music Awards, coming away with 13 trophies in a single night and eclipsing the previous record held by Adele. That year wasn't a fluke. He was honored as top artist, top male artist, top Billboard 200 artist, and even snagged top streaming songs artist, showcasing his universal appeal. By the end of the ceremony, Tweets exploded with astonishment as fans and fellow artists marveled at how one man could dominate so many categories at once. But Drake didn't stop there. In that same era, he collected 6 American Music Awards, including Favorite Rap Hip-Hop Artist and Favorite Rap Hip-Hop Album, cementing his crossover success from the club scene to mainstream radio. Across the Atlantic, the Brit Awards recognized him twice, once for International Male Solo Artist and once for International Album, proving his global reach. Back home in Canada, 3 Juno Awards acknowledged his cultural impact on Canadian music, a nod to his roots and his pride in Toronto's burgeoning scene. Beyond trophies, it's his chart achievements that truly illustrate his staying power. Drake holds the record for most top 10 hits on the Billboard Hot 100, surpassing icons like Madonna. That means dozens of singles, from club anthems to introspective ballads, have resonated with hundreds of millions of listeners. Even more staggering, he has 358 Billboard-charted songs, more than any solo artist in history. Imagine releasing a song and knowing it has a solid chance to enter the most competitive chart in music. That's the kind of consistency he brings. How did he pull this off? Part of it lies in his adaptability. Drake's music seamlessly blends rap, R&B, dancehall, and pop. One week he's flexing on trap beats, the next he's crooning over Afrobeat rhythms or sampling 80s soft rock. Each pivot draws new listeners while keeping longtime fans hooked. Plus, his embrace of streaming platforms, releasing surprise EPs, teasing snippets on social media, and cultivating playlist culture has kept him at the forefront of how people consume music today. These milestones aren't just tally marks on a scoreboard. They underscore Drake's uncanny ability to evolve with the industry. From physical album sales to digital downloads and now streaming metrics, he's consistently mastered each era's rules. His award case is more than a display of shiny hardware. It's a testament to relentless reinvention, cross-genre appeal, and a work ethic that refuses to rest on past glories. In the world of modern music, Drake's trophy collection stands as proof. Records are meant to be broken. By him. Next, let's dive into how Drake transformed from chart-topping artist into a bona fide business mogul, building an empire that extends far beyond the microphone. It all began in 2012 when Drake teamed up with his longtime friend and producer, Noah 40 Shebib, to launch OVO Sound, a record label that would redefine Toronto's music scene. Under the OVO banner, Drake nurtured talents like Party Next Door and Majid Jordan, giving them creative freedom and high-profile exposure. That move wasn't just about signing artists. It was about creating a cultural hub where Drake's signature blend of rap and R&B could flourish. By fostering new voices and curating a distinct aesthetic, think sleek black and gold logos and moody atmospheric beats, OVO Sound became synonymous with quality and innovation, cementing Drake's reputation as a tastemaker as well as a superstar. Leveraging OVO's buzz, he next parlayed his influence into sports. In 2013, the Toronto Raptors named him their official global ambassador, complete with his own signature OVO Athletic Center practice facility. Suddenly, Raptor side presence at home games became a viral phenomenon, fans clamoring for a glimpse of his owl logo jacket almost as much as the players on the court. That partnership not only boosted the Raptors brand, but also positioned Drake as a bridge between music and sports, showing how a musician could leverage personal passion into a profitable affiliation. In 2016, he ventured into the spirits world with Virginia Black Bourbon, collaborating with acclaimed distiller Brent Hocking. With a sleek black bottle and a rich, honeyed profile, the bourbon embodied Drake's blend of luxury and edge. Sales exceeded expectations, proving that his star power could turn a niche product into a mainstream success. It wasn't a one-off experiment. By aligning with experts like Hocking, Drake showed he understood the importance of quality and authenticity in every venture. On the fashion front, his OVO clothing line and the Nocta capsule collection with Nike tapped into streetwear culture's hunger for limited edition drops and premium craftsmanship. Every release sold out within hours, turning fans into fashion fiends and reinforcing Drake's role as a style influencer. He even launched and introspection. By 2017, Forbes estimated his combined endorsement deals, royalties, and business ventures pushed his pre-tax earnings to around $94 million. But these numbers only tell half the story. What's truly remarkable is how Drake approaches each project with the same creativity: pop star, cheering courtside, toasting success with fine bourbon, or dropping exclusive apparel. Drake's Midas touch turns every venture into gold and shows that his empire-building skills may be his most enduring legacy of all. Now, let's shine a light on the side of Drake that rarely makes headlines: his quiet, heartfelt generosity that ripples through communities without fanfare. It all started on Valentine's Day in 2015, when Drake slipped into Toronto's chic Juliet restaurant and told the startled staff, "I've got dinner covered for everyone here tonight." Word spread fast. His bill reportedly topped $50,000, treating every couple, single diner, and bartender to an unforgettable evening. Patrons rushed to social media, tagging #ThankYouDrake, but the rapper quietly slipped away, leaving behind smiles, astonished servers, and the unspoken lesson that kindness can shine brightest when it's unexpected. Flash forward to March 2023, during his sold-out stadium run in Melbourne. Between electric performances, Drake paused the show and pointed out two lifelong fans in the crowd. With a nod to his team, he handed them envelopes containing a total of $45,000, saying, "You've stuck with me through it all. This one's for you." That moment lit up fan feeds worldwide. Yet even here, the cameras only captured a fraction of the joy he sparked that night. Offstage, Drake's giving goes far beyond spectacle. In Toronto, he's a regular supporter of the Sick Kids Foundation, quietly funding new medical equipment and research grants. On more than one occasion, he's visited young patients, stopping to share a laugh or autograph a bedside get-well card. Education sits close to his heart, too. In 2019, he surprised students campaigning for Drake Day at a Houston university by not only endorsing the celebration, but also establishing a scholarship fund at his alma mater in Toronto. That fund's first recipients spoke of how Drake's gesture lifted the financial burden of tuition, transforming their dreams into tangible goals. When natural disasters struck in Ontario in 2020, he quietly matched donations for relief efforts, helping deliver meals and temporary housing to displaced families. That same year, he publicly supported Black Lives Matter initiatives, amplifying grassroots organizers working for racial justice. What ties these stories together is Drake's preference for the personal touch over publicity. He doesn't issue press releases or stage photo ops. Instead, he listens, responds, and acts. Whether by picking up a dinner tab, lighting up a stadium crowd, or funding life-changing opportunities. In doing so, he reminds us that true influence isn't just about chart-topping hits. It's about the lives you uplift along the way. Now, let's take a detour from platinum plaques and private jets to a moment that proves Drake's appetite is as legendary as his hits. It was early 2024, and the Rod Laver Arena in Melbourne was shaking with fans ready for another sold-out night of champagne poppy anthems. But halfway through the show, something unexpected and undeniably delicious happened. Backstage, Drake's team placed an order with Nando's that would go down in fast food history: $2,651 worth of peri-peri goodness. The tally included 60 Pyrenees wraps, each dripping with that signature creamy, spicy sauce, 15 whole flame-grilled chickens, 20 large portions of perfectly crisp chips, and enough spicy rice to feed an army. By the time the final order was double-checked, it shattered the previous record held by Post Malone, and word of Drake's feast spread like wildfire. Moments later, the cameras caught Drake grinning wide as he pointed to a long line of delivery bags stacked backstage. Fans watching live feeds erupted in laughter and delight. Here was one of the world's biggest superstars, surrounded by mountains of chicken instead of luxury cars. His playful shout-out, "Y'all hungry? 'Cause I'm starving," became an instant meme, inspiring fan art of Drake piloting a chicken-shaped airplane and trending hashtags like #DrakeEats. But true to form, he didn't stop at devouring every bite himself. After the final chorus of God's Plan, he paused the encore and told the crowd, "I want you all to get a taste of this with me." Then, backstage staff rolled out carts piled high with Nando's boxes onto the front rows. Drake's generosity turned the fast food stunt into a shared experience. Fans on the floor unwrapped wings and wraps as confetti rained down, their surprised cheers mixing with the arena's roar. Beyond the laughs and the viral clips, The Nando's order became a symbol of Drake's flair for turning simple pleasures into cultural moments. It reminded everyone that for Drake, grand gestures aren't limited to luxury yachts or private jets. They can be as down-to-earth and mouth-watering as sharing a bucket of peri-peri wings. The record-smashing feast underscored his connection with fans. No matter how high he climbs, he still knows how to bring people together over good food, good music, and unforgettable nights. Let's explore how Drake's global stardom turned him into a one-man tourism engine, drawing visitors, boosting local businesses, and even reshaping city calendars. It started back home in Toronto, where Drake's rise coincided with a surge in international buzz. By 2018, studies showed that roughly 5% of the city's $8.8 billion annual tourism revenue came from travelers chasing all things Drake. Fans from Buenos Aires to Beijing booked flights just to pose under the neon glow of the CN Tower. Iconic in its own right, but now forever linked to Drake thanks to his frequent shout-outs in songs and Instagram stories. Next stop, Queen Street West, where OVO's flagship store became a must-see attraction. Tours that once hit art galleries and street murals added Drake's black and gold owl logo as a top pit stop. Visitors lined up not only to snag exclusive drops, like limited edition hoodies or special release vinyl, but to soak up the vibe of a space curated by one of music's biggest influencers. Rumor has it that 10 Roden Street, supposedly Drake's secret Toronto studio, has become the pilgrimage site of Drake heads worldwide, though the address remains shrouded in mystery. Fans circle the block, snap photos of the unmarked brick door, and trade stories about the mixtapes that were born inside. That sense of insider access, I stood where he stood, adds an adventurous layer to the typical city break. Drake's real estate flex didn't stop with studios. In 2021, Google Trends listed his Toronto mansion as one of the most searched celebrity homes on the planet. Searches spiked for Drake House basketball court and Drake Mansion bathroom when fans learned about its NBA-sized court and futuristic fixtures. Tour companies even launched Drake Dream Homes boat cruises around the harbor, pointing out waterfront mansions and whispering about which one might belong to him. His impact jumped borders in 2009, when Houston's City Council declared June 10th Drake Day, a fan-driven honor marking his birthday and celebrating his breakout mixtape era. Since then, Drake's presence at local events, from surprise campus concerts to Raptors playoff games, has translated into hotel sellouts and booming bar sales. Wherever he shows up, nearby venues report spikes in reservations, and tour operators add Drake districts to itineraries, areas pinned on maps as where Drake filmed that video, or where Drake once had brunch. What's key is that Drake didn't set out to become a tourism tycoon. By weaving his story through landmarks, storefronts, and even municipal calendars, he's created a living museum of his career, one that drives economic activity and cements Toronto's and Houston's reputation as global cultural hubs. In Drake's world, a single lyric can spark a travel trend, reminding us that music's power often extends far beyond the stage. From his days on Degrassi to ghostwriting secrets, record-breaking award runs, empire-building ventures, and surprise acts of kindness, Drake's journey is packed with twists you never saw coming. Which of these revelations blew you away? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and subscribe for more deep-dive stories into the biggest names in music. Until next time, stay curious and keep it champagne poppy.